In this video, I'm going to share with you a concept I call the 4 levels of awareness. Included in this video are 3 shifts. When I made the second shift, my life changed dramatically. I hope you enjoy the 4 levels of awareness. Let's start with a great quote from our friend Albert Einstein. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Now, the greater context for this quote is learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow. But the important thing is not to stop questioning. And an inquisitive mind is a learning mind. And Albert Einstein's definitely demonstrated that to us. But what's that got to do with the 4 levels of awareness? Well, questioning is a big part of our experience in life. And at different stages in life, we ask different questions. When we're young, we tend to focus on our external world. Where will I live? What will I do? How will I earn money? Who will I be with? These are the questions of a young person's mind. Totally appropriate. But as you age and you start to gain a little experience in life, your questions change, but they still keep coming. Here's a quote from Bob Marley. Are you satisfied with the life you're living? More of an introspective question than an external question, right? And if you find that you become dissatisfied with your life, that's when you're ready to know why. That's when your questions lead to greater understanding or greater awareness. Questions that demand your answers come when you're dissatisfied or when you're ready for a change or when you just plain want more in your life. And they lead to a shift in your thinking. And that shift often is a breakthrough. A breakthrough that leads to a greater or new level of awareness. Now, what do we mean by this awareness? What do we mean by awareness? Well, let's start with we are vibrational beings. We've already discussed this. We are high vibrating beings. And that vibration comes in the form of a frequency, meaning there are multiple frequencies. There's high frequency or high vibration, and there's low frequency or low vibration. And we know from our prior discussions that we human beings are vibrating machines. And one way that was illustrated by Kirlian photography, here's a photograph of a man, and you can see energy or vibration coming from his body. And studies have shown us, tests have shown us, that this shape and color and size of this image of vibration coming off the body change with one's emotions. One's feelings can change the look and feel and the color of these vibrational energies. And the truth is, if all of these lines on the screen represent a frequency, there actually are millions of them. Too many to identify and label. But there are many levels of vibration that we can exist in. Multiple ones in a given minute, let alone a given day. The low vibration, the low frequency, tends to be more dark. It's heavier. It's troubling. And it can lead to us as human beings having low energy and discomfort, or dare I say dis-ease, if we stay in this low vibration frequency of energy. But on the other end of the spectrum, at the high frequency, it's more light. It's more joyful. This is when you're experiencing more fulfillment, high energy, and your body, your being, feels at ease. Often it's described as the lowest level of frequency for humans is fear, and the highest frequency is love. And then there's everything in between. And as we know, when you are in alignment with your inner being, you're in a high frequency or a high vibration, because your inner being vibrates perfectly. It vibrates at a very high frequency. And the way we know we're out of alignment with our inner being is that we feel bad. We feel discomfort. We feel out of alignment. We are out of alignment because we feel fear or worry or doubt or anger or any of those low, heavy vibrational feelings. That's the way we know if we're in alignment or out of alignment. And many scholars have tried to map out this frequency. This is a chart by David Hawkins, his map of consciousness, which he used a methodology to test different feelings and emotions and scaled them on a scale from 0 to 1,000. So these are labels that have been put on groupings of the millions of frequencies that exist. Here's a simpler chart. There's many of them. You can Google and find all kinds of emotional scale charts. But this one is a little bit easier to read on the screen. And if you're on your mobile phone, I encourage you to check this on your laptop because you'll be able to see it much better. Or look at the chart that's in your workbook. But at the bottom we have fear, and at top love, and then all these different definitions in between. And jealousy, hatred, anger are at the low end of the spectrum, and contentment, hopefulness, positive expectation, belief, optimism are on the higher ends of the scale, and you got everything in between. And during a day, we can move up this scale and we can move down this scale many times. We're constantly, based on what's happening in our world and our circumstances, if we allow our circumstances to affect us, we're constantly going up and down this vibrational scale. Excuse me. But the key question is, what's your prevailing vibrational level? Where do you spend most of your time? That's your dominant vibrational level on this scale. And there are ways of measuring that. But this matches your level of awareness. Again, what do we mean by awareness? Let's go a little bit deeper into this. Awareness is really about your understanding. I mean, if you understood that jealousy, hatred, and anger were heavy, low vibrational feelings that kept you out of alignment with your true self, that prevented you from attracting into your life things that you want in your life, because remember, vibration attracts like vibration. So if your dominant vibrational energy pattern is that of anger and hatred, guess what? You're going to attract into your life things to be angry about, things to hate. You can't help but attract things because the law of attraction goes on 24/7 every day of the year, whether you like it or not. This is why this is so important. So if you were aware that that is what was happening, would you keep your thoughts and your energy and your vibration in those low levels? Absolutely not. I don't think anyone wants to be jealous, wants to be angry, wants to hate. But when you're in that mode, it reinforces itself and you attract more of that. But if you can elevate your vibration up the scale by changing your thoughts, which change your feelings, which change your vibration, and think about positive expectation, about hopefulness, contentment, optimism, gratitude. If you can think of these emotions at the high end of the scale, guess what you begin attracting into your life? Things that match that level of vibration. If you are in a constant state of positive expectation, you will attract circumstances, ideas, people, events into your life that are positive. It's really not that complex when you talk about it. Now, doing it's a different thing, but it requires awareness. So once you understand this, meaning you become aware of how this is how life works, it's so much easier to do the work to keep your vibration up. So what I want to do is simplify these millions of levels of awareness. It gets overwhelming to think about all these charts and scales of emotion and where am I and do I move up 1 step or 2 steps or 10 steps? Let's try and simplify that so that we can increase our understanding. Because understanding leads to awareness. Excuse me. So I want to talk about 4 levels of awareness. Let's simplify it to 4 and 3 quantum shifts you can make between those levels of awareness. And we'll talk a little bit about how to make each shift. I call these shifts quantum breakthroughs. These are major levels of awareness in your life. And if you can break through them to the next level, you'll see why it's greatly beneficial for you. Okay? So let's talk about the 4 levels of awareness. And the first level I call to me. Life happens to me. This is when you're in the frame of reference, a lower vibrational feeling of being the victim in the world. Everything happens to me. The next level of awareness is called by me. When you get tired of being in the victim mode and you want to take responsibility for your life, you decide you're going to make your life happen by me. You're going to get into achievement mode, get off the couch, and start making things happen for you. You make life happen. And through me, the next level up, you cooperate with life happening. You cooperate with a higher power. And you realize that you're not alone, that there is a higher power, a universe that's friendly, a universe that's looking out for you. And if you cooperate with the way the universe works, life gets easier. We'll talk more about that. And the 4th level I call as me. And this is where you realize that in life, everything is connected. And we are all one. And life is me. And I'm a part of it. Now, I talked about 3 shifts, and the first shift is to take responsibility. When you're in to me mode and you're being a victim, the way you get out of it is to say, I'm done being the victim. It's not serving me. I am going to accept responsibility for my life. And you move up to by me, and you start making things happen. And that's a great place to live, and I spent most of my adult life in by me. But there comes a time when you may say to yourself, I'm tired of making things happen by myself. I'm tired of living in this middle vibration. And I really want to have an easier life. I'm exhausted. So you surrender to the universe and you say, I'm going to get into flow. I'm not going to fight the system anymore. I'm going to learn about the laws of the universe, align with them, and things will be easier. I will surrender to life and cooperate with it happening. And for some of us, we make the shift up to ASME. And this is the state where you accept that we're all one. Oneness is the trigger to get you to move into ASME. We'll talk about that in a minute, but a few of us move there, but it's available to all of us. It really is available to anyone who wants to accept oneness and that we're all connected. But let me break this down a little bit, and let's talk about to me. And I mentioned a little bit, it's about people who view themselves as the victim of life. Life happens to them. And blaming and complaining is the game. They spend the majority of their time blaming others for their problems and complaining about their world and their life. Problems happen to them, to me. Everything happens to me. Someone should come in and fix this for me. Drama is a way of life. Drama is expressed in the hopes of getting empathy, in the hopes of someone coming in and solving their problems, someone fixing things for them. They often ask the question, why do all these things happen to me? Why me? And the truth is, their results in life are relatively minimal. All that they get in life is what others will give them. And those that give grow tired of giving. So when you're in to me mode, your results in life are minimal. And at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later, the person who is in to me realizes this isn't working for me. If I am going to change my life, I am going to have to accept responsibility. And they make a shift to buy me. Say, I'm going to have to take control. I'm going to have to make life happen. I'm going to get a good job. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to earn a degree. I'm going to gain new skills. I'm going to not blame others, but look in the mirror and say, if I'm going to make my life better, I'm going to make it happen. Me. That's accepting responsibility, and that's how you shift to by me. Now, by me, people that are in this mode view themselves as creators. They create their life. They're curious. They're appreciative of what they have, primarily because they've earned it by working hard. The problems are viewed as a way for them to learn and grow. Problems are what they knock down one after another. They are problem-solving machines in by me. And solving problems feels empowering to me, especially compared to being in victim mode. So it's a step up to be in by me. And hard work becomes a way of life because everything happens by me. And they constantly say, what do I create next? I'm a creator. What problem do I solve? What do I create for myself to improve my life? And generally, especially compared to me, by me has good results. And you can spend your entire life in by me. I was probably in by me from my early 20s because I skipped through to me as a teenager, but in my early 20s all the way into my early 50s. But by me has limits. I began to realize that once you're working 60 to 70 hours of work, hours a week, it's hard to expand that and get more by working 90 hours. Like I said, the results are good, but it can be exhausting. This is sometimes called a midlife crisis. This is sometimes called, I don't know, what did we used to say? Life's a bitch and then you die. You're in constant problem-solving mode. You're working very hard. It's exhausting. You're working for the weekend. And then you find yourself working on the weekends. And one day you wake up and start to ask questions. You say, is this all there is? When you start to ask questions and by me, you get curious. And then you start to investigate. There's got to be a better way because not everyone in the world is in by me. I know people that have happier lives, have more abundance in their life, have more greater relationships in their life, and they're not working as hard as me. So there's got to be something that's unfair. But I know the universe is friendly and fair. So what is it that they're doing that I'm not doing? And you start to research and you start to study and you start to ask questions. Thank you, Mr. Einstein. And you surrender to the fact that there is a higher power, that there is an intelligence in this universe. And if I cooperate with that, it's willing to co-create with me. And you move into a new phase. You make a quantum shift, a breakthrough, a quantum breakthrough into what I call through me. By surrendering from the hard work and allowing life to flow. You view yourself as a co-creator. What do I mean by a co-creator? You view yourself as someone that creates with your imagination what it is you want in your life, and you surrender to a higher power that orchestrates the circumstances, events, people, and ideas into your life to make it happen. In other words, you don't focus on how you get what you want, you focus on what you want, and then you delegate to a higher power the how. And if you believe that it will happen, and if you take inspired action that comes to you, you move towards what you want. That's what I mean by co-creation. You allow your life to happen. Things begin to flow is a good way to feel it. It's like you're in a river, enjoying the scenery, flowing down the middle, avoiding the rapids of life, and you're in wonder and awe of your beautiful surroundings. You're grateful for it. It's a wonderful experience. But you realize, you come to learn that your thoughts have the power to create. That we're part of a friendly universe and we have a co-creator. And that we can think of what it is we want. We can get in the emotional vibration that matches what we want. High vibration, because we don't want bad things in our life. We want good things in our life. So we're thinking of good goals and we vibrate higher. And we attract things into our life that help us get that. That's how your thoughts have the power to create. and that you realize that life will really handle all apparent problems. When you were in buy me mode, it was one problem after another, and you got satisfaction out of solving problems. And guess what? You attracted more problems so you could have more satisfaction. In through me, you don't think about problems. You think about solutions. You think about what you want, not what you don't want. And you begin to attract it in. And problems become smaller in your life, less frequent in your life. And you attract the results that you want. And you realize that there's a life energy, a life force that comes to and through you to help you create what it is that you want. And you spend your time thinking about not problems, but what possibility is next for me? If the field of possibility contains what? All possibilities, what do I want next? And you begin to focus your energy on imagining what you want next for your life, and then you delegate the how to your co-creator. And results arrive more abundantly, more easily, more frequently. And instead of achieving things in buy me, one problem at a time, becoming a big major life challenge or project, things start to flow to you, and you achieve more of your dreams over and over again. That's what I mean by abundance. And because you have a co-creator that handles the how, it feels easier. It's more joyful. It's more fulfilling. The day you discover that your thoughts can create things that you desire in your life and you live in through me is one day to celebrate. It's very delicious. So through me is a great place to live. And there are all kinds of levels within through me, as you know. And some people, though, even ask questions in this abundant, free-flowing, wonderful life. They ask questions about what is life. And they have a greater inquisition, that's the wrong word, greater curiosity about what life is all about. And they realize through their self-reflection and study that we all are connected. And they make a shift through oneness to as me and realize that they're a part of life and we're all a part of life and all things are connected. They view themselves as one with everything, and they overcome with peace and calm and knowing about life is, how life is. And because they realize that they're a part of everything, they really decide they need nothing. Life is not about acquisition of things or accomplishments. They don't really need anything because they're a part of everything. There's really nothing to solve because there are no problems. And they realize that they are life energy. They are connected to the universe. They are connected to source energy. Source. Intelligent thinking. They're part of the thinking stuff. They're a part of God. They are all connected in this life energy. And there really aren't questions about life anymore at this point. It's really just about oneness. And the resulting life is unlimited freedom, happiness, and joy. Now, I mentioned earlier, not many of us achieve this vibrational state of awareness of ASME. But I want you to know it's available to you and everyone else. It's a question of whether you want it, whether this is part of what you desire. But when I think of people that lived in ASME or are living in ASME, I think of Gandhi, Jesus, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela. I mean, imagine the influence of Nelson Mandela to change all of Africa and then really the world through his personal power. His awareness was so high that he knew answers to things. There were no problems. So this is just an amazing state, which I cannot tell you that I've experienced it. Certainly not to the level of these folks. But I have felt connected in my meditations and in some of my life experiences to everything. And it's almost like a great vibrational feeling, like a buzzing within me. But if you study and practice this, it's available to everyone, just like all of these levels are. So if we stack these levels, these 4 levels of awareness with to me, as a lower vibration, as me as a higher vibration, and everything in between. There's another important aspect of these different levels of awareness. The results in your life grow exponentially as you step through the 4 levels of awareness. When you are in a state of vibration of by me, you have 100 times better results, greater results, more results than if you are in a low vibration state of to me. That's logical. It makes sense. If you get your butt off the couch and start doing things, achieving things, you're going to achieve a lot more than if you're sitting around complaining about life and how you're a victim of it. But when you start co-creating with the universe and move up the scale, that's about 100 times more results than in by me. And in as me, your influence on the world, think of Gandhi, think of Jesus, think of Mother Teresa, 1,000 times that of those living in through me. Now, are these numbers exact, scientifically proven? No. No, they're not. But through experience, you can illustrate this to yourself. If you're living in any one of these phases, have a breakthrough, achieve a quantum breakthrough to the next level, and watch the results in your life. It will change exponentially. The best way to convince you is to have you experience that. So we talked a little bit about all these different levels of awareness. And when I stack the 4 levels on top of the millions of levels of vibration that go from low vibration up to high vibration, and all the charts that you see that are put out, it tends to simplify things a little bit. And that's what I wanted to do in this lesson. And you'll realize that to me is a low vibration state of awareness. And when you start asking questions, why is this happening to me? Why don't I get results in life? Is this all there is in life? And you start to accept responsibility, you move from a high vibration state to what I call this kind of middle vibration. And in this vibrational state where I spent most of my adult life, it's about solving problems and achievements. It's about one day being in a state of euphoria, and another state, a problem coming along and being low vibration. And focusing on those problems brings more problems, but you work through it hard. By working hard, you achieve it and you go up. So you're constantly going up and down through this middle vibration. And I found as I got older, in my 40s and 50s, I spent more time in problem resolution than I did in celebrating my victories. And that's what caused me to begin to ask questions. And when that happened, I moved up to a higher state of awareness, which I'll call positive expectation. And this is the higher frequency level that I use to describe as ideal for being in through me. Positive expectation or higher. If you constantly positively expect the things that you desire in life to come into your life, and you start to see that they do, then you know you're not alone. You're working with a higher power. You are co-creating, and you cooperate with the universe to make your life happen. Because remember, the universe is friendly. It wants you to expand. It wants you to grow. It wants you to have what you want. You came to this earth to have a physical experience, to grow and to experience life fully. So when you're vibrating at that level of positive expectation and higher, gratitude, love, enthusiasm, passion, joy, appreciation, all of these higher level of vibrations, that's when you manifest things into your life. That's when you're more closely aligned with your inner being. And that's when you really experience through me. Life becomes easier. Life becomes more fun. It's more to look forward to because you know it's coming. You strengthen your belief. Life and through me is a great experience. And of course, after you've experienced the positive expectation, you can decide that you want to elevate your vibration even higher through study and greater understanding of just how life works. And you move all the way up to pure love and live in a state of ASME, realizing that we're all connected and we're all one. So these are the 4 levels of awareness that I wanted to share with you. And the key elements of each of these are the quantum breakthroughs, the quantum shifts that can occur as you move from to me to by me by accepting responsibility for your life, from by me to through me by surrendering to the universe and the powers of co-creation. And shift 3, when you really understand that we are all connected, we are all one, and there are no problems to solve, only a calm, peaceful knowing as a way of life. A much easier way to look at these millions of levels of vibration that we talked about, all of these lines representing all of these frequencies, and realizing that we are vibrational beings. By looking at this image gives you one example of how you can see that we are vibrating and that our vibration changes with our emotions. So if we want to be in a high frequency, we need to master our mind, our thoughts, and our emotions. We need to take control of what we're thinking and what we're allowing into our thoughts, because that thinking controls our feelings, which sets our vibrational signal, which attracts into our life. So on this scale, we have all of these different levels, but simplifying it and realizing that there are some major shifts that you can make, responsibility to surrender to oneness, helps you accept and understand the power of your vibration, the power of your awareness. So, in summary, I'd like to say, ask reflective questions. Where am I on the 4 levels of awareness today? Where do I spend most of my time? Where do I want to spend my time? And if you're ready, shift your thinking. Changing your thinking will allow you to break through to a new level of awareness and live life in a whole different way, a more satisfying way, a better way, a more abundant way, a life of success, greater success, joy, and fulfillment. So thank you for listening to me as I've gone through these 4 levels of awareness and the 3 quantum shifts that are available to you to reach new significant levels in your life. Thanks for listening. Be well.